Good morning, saints and sinners and anybody else that might be watching. I think that covers everybody, though, right? So I just wanted to make a little correction. First of all, I don't know if it was on this, on these Facebook posts or in YouTube that I did the video that I mentioned the restitution of all things. The Restitution of All Things is this latest book that I was reading, and I got off the internet PDF version. And I called it something else, like the Restoration of All Things. But anyways, it's Restitution, the Second Death and the Restitution of All Things, Andrew Jukes. And so in that vein, as I mentioned before, I thought we would talk about all the different denominations that I've had some experience with and see where that goes. Then, of course, we'll start with the Catholic Church, because I was raised in the Catholic Church. And what I've noticed over the years, a lot of Protestants don't really understand much about the Catholics, and I don't think that, it's almost like they don't include them. There's a lot of different Protestant denominations, but as long as you're not Catholic, it was like you're okay. But the interesting thing is there's I don't know, they just have very different ways of going about the faith. So, first off, I would say that being raised the seventh child of a Catholic family, and the people across the street from me had 15 kids, and they were also a Catholic family. And between our family and their family, the altar boys were all, pretty much from these two places. And we sat up on the left-hand side toward the front of the church, probably so my parents could keep an eye on the boys, because I had 4 brothers, and I believe every one of them was an altar boy. Maybe not at the same time, but I'm pretty sure they all took turns up there. So it was always one of my brothers up there on the altar. And what they did was help the priest and, bring things to him. I mean, as a little kid, I don't think I really had any idea what was going on. I still don't have any real memory of being in church. I think I napped a lot because I was little. And we stopped going probably by the time I was 10 or 12. So I was pretty much a little kid when I was going. And I don't have a lot of memories at all, except the frankincense. When they go up and down the aisle with the incense, the frankincense, and it was just like a nice wafting, just a sweet aroma. So as a kid, that was really sweet and enjoyable, and it was very comforting to lay in those big wooden pews, maybe on my dad's lap or my mom's lap or somebody's lap. Like I said, I don't really know. But I think I did find it as a place of comfort and rest, and the routine of the scripture and the Apostles' Creed and the things that were just repeated again and again. It was very lulling and sweet. And I do remember looking up at the altar, and there's this maybe 10, 12-foot cross. It seemed to me as a little kid, it was huge, and they're like a 6-foot Jesus on it. I mean, it was just life-size, ginormous, and terrifying, but also like just shocking. I don't know. I think as a kid, I used to look at it all the time and just stare at it and stare at his hands and stare at the blood, because they had, the blood coming out of his hands, and his side was pierced, and they had some blood coming from there. So whoever sculpted or created this thing, it was supposed to look realistic, and his feet, and it was beautiful and scary. And I do remember thinking, why, if that's God's son,